created to have some fun together, sharing and singing. So, join and enjoy.
Our love for opera brings us together. Thanks for being with us in this trip.
And so that was piece number 2.
Okay, well, you were right. I didn't recognize it. Probably someone in the public might recognize this one, but I didn't. What can you tell us about this piece?
Mm, Curiously, it is written by one of the most important zarzuela composers. But even though he composed other astonishingly well known zarzuelas, this is from a zarzuela named El Carro del Sol that hardly few people know about. There's been some famous singers who have, that it happens also in opera, that nobody cares about the opera, but everybody knows about a certain area. That would be the case for this piece. Nobody knows the zarzuela. I think I haven't seen it, not even recorded on a stage ever. So I'm not really sure how the rest of it goes. But of the very few singers that have taken this song, I have had a chance of having heard it live. And I remember that from the very first notes of the piano, I told myself, this is such a masterpiece. Same case as
Yes.
before, if you notice, and as we said also in other programs, the zarzuela, as opposed to the opera, does not repeat the texts. The text goes and goes and goes like forever, and so it has lots of words. But the whole message, I think, it is very. It tells somehow a sad story, but a sad, nice story. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
say, I'm going to cut my veins, I'm going to die for you, I can't think of my life any longer without you being by my side. But still, there is like this, if the expression is allowed, this beautiful sadness because it opens, and if
It's
you,
like I'm enjoying this pain.
yeah, like I'm not sure if enjoying, but at least not in that extreme emotion of I'm going to kill myself, there is no future.
Hurts a little.
Because if you think of the text, it starts by saying, pensando en el que la quiere, suspira la veneciana, la luz de la tarde muere sobre el alféizar de su ventana. And it goes like that, but you see the whole melody is like flowing, telling you like painting a portrait of what is going on. So personally, when the second part starts and it says volando las aguas viene la góndola veneciana, I really can think of that Venetian ship that are called the gondolas. I really can think of the lover, like traveling, like paddling to meet the beloved girl, the Veneciana, to meet her by her window, because the melody says that he stops by the alféizar de su ventana, by the border of her window. He could stop his gondola and look at her. So if you think of that, it is a very beautiful image.
Yeah. Many times, music uses to be descriptive. I was working with a student last week, and she was working a lesson from El Bacay, this this
Technique
this book,
book, yeah.
this technique book, and she was singing the second lesson. Semplicetta tortorella che non vede il suo periglio. And I told her, it's written like if you were this tortorella waving your wings. Semplicetta torturella che non vede il suo periglio. And sometimes we don't pay attention to these details in the music, but it describes uh, scenes like you just mentioned, this lover traveling over the water to meet her beloved girl, and you can almost feel that the water is moving you while you sing this kind of piece. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think that there is music that very easily carries you away. With other
Yeah.
music, you kind of struggle, but there is music like these pieces that make somehow the life of the singer easy in the sense that the music guides you. Ta-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra, la, 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 la. So only you have to learn the words, but the rest of it,
Yes, because music moves you through herself.
yeah. And at some point, you really feel like this communion. In this case, the music is from a pianola, which also makes it very interesting. Not a piano, but a pianola. It's very interesting because I could hear that song. In fact, that song I could hear it all day, and I would never get bored about it because the melody of the piano, even the melody without words, it's very lovely as well.
Yeah, because sometimes when we are talking about vocal music, we pay more attention, obviously, to the singer, to the text, to the line, to the melody, because it is a kind of main character in some way. But when we are training our ears and pay attention to all the piece, we can enjoy the piano in this case that is telling us another message in the same story, and that's quite interesting
It certainly is. So that's why
because
I love
many
this song.
times the piano is singing too.
Yeah,
It's not just working as accompaniment. It's singing too, and that's a very exquisite experience.
and that's going to be the case also for the third piece that I brought today. But let's not get there yet.
It's not your turn
Not yet.
still.
So stop it there.
Not yet, because I'm gonna sing two pieces and I will not give the name until I finished.
Okay.
Vittoria, 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 mio cuore. Non lagrimar più, non lagrimar più, e sciolta d'amore la vil servitù. Vittoria, Vittoria, mio cuore. Non lagrimar più, e sciolta d'amore la vil servitù. E sciolta d'amore la servitù. Io l'empia polvani, prastuolo di sguardi, convenzi bugiardi, dispose l'ingani. Le frode giovani non hanno più loco nel crudo soffoco e spento l'ardore. Vittoria, 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 mio cuore. Non lagrimar più, non lagrimar più, e sciolta d'amore la vil servitù, e sciolta d'amore la servitù. piaga mortale nel petto m'aventi, né donne tormenti, lo più non mi sfogio, e rotto ogni laccio, sparito il timore. Vittoria, 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 mio cuore, non lagrimar più, non lagrimar più, e sciolta d'amore la vil servitù, e sciolta d'amore la servitù. Do you know this one?
I have never heard it, so I am dying for you to share.
You're kidding me, really?
I have never heard it, I swear.
Oh God. Well, I think that it's a very happy song. And I love this book because sometimes you find cases when are arias from an opera, but some others are just simply cases like the first madrigal I sang, and this one just says canzonetta. It's not even a canzone, it's a canzonetta, so a little song. But I think that they are very delightful music. It's a pleasure to sing it and a pleasure to listen, don't you think?
In fact, what I was going to tell you that I'm not sure if that would be your case, but it is my case for the pieces that I brought today. These are like pieces for relaxing. Like, okay, there is hate in the world, there is war, there is hunger, there is people starving, there are crises of all types, there is climate change, and there are horrible dramas like the one I shared last week. So there is a day, and it was this day that I chose, that I said, okay, Ricardo, too much drama, too much of what you did in previous weeks. Go and relax with the songs that you like. And your selection is like that, like for even reading a book. I know that singers are singing all the time, even when they are reading a book. So, but just maybe as you are playing with your beautiful dog, maybe one day you should be sharing a picture with us of your beautiful dog, so people know that you love your pet. And
Yeah.
I know that maybe when you are walking with her, you are still singing in your mind, and you cross the street, and you're still singing in your mind. And that,
Well, I sing to her. Literally, she has like about three or four very little songs, but I sang to her, literally to her.
and this music, I find it for relaxing. I mean, well, at least in my case, I feel like no more worries. Take these 2, 3, 5 minutes to relax, to listen to the piano, to go through the melody. Don't worry about a high note. Don't worry about the drama. Don't worry for reaching a fortissimo after this phrase. Just flow.
Yeah, I found something curious when I thought about choosing these songs because, like I said a few minutes ago, when we are starting to singing and we are just beginning to probably tune some notes and kind of that, teachers gives you this material because it's not complicated as probably Lakme or the Queen of the Night is definitely. But if you check on the internet, you will find beautiful and interesting versions of great singers performing this music because it deserves our respect. And yes, it is to have fun. Yes, it is to relax. And I think that probably they have choose music like this uh, in certain way to sing for themselves, because as singers, many times we think about the public, and yes, we have to share our art with people, but we have to connect with that thought and that feeling why we choose to sing, because we first have to change to sing for ourselves, and this music allows you to sing for yourself. That's how I feel it.
I agree. I agree. I really like the mood of all these melodies, and people believe us that we didn't discuss it before. Katia is discovering the pieces as I have been singing, and I am discovering her pieces as she is singing them because she didn't tell me anything in return. So luckily, we agreed or we reached a common sense in the mood of today's.
And this is my second piece because I said I was gonna sing two, and then you will.
Okay, let's go for it.
Oh. Lasciatemi morire, morire. Che volete che mi conforte in così dura sorte, in così gran martire. Lasciatemi morire, morire.
Lasciatemi morire.
Recognized it?
A very intense song.
Yeah, this we recognize Orfeo by Monteverdi as the first opera, as the first written, but no, we have to precise that it is the first conservada,
Yeah.
conserved, the first conserved opera, but the first one that was written, it was Ariana. Unfortunately, we can't find the complete score nowadays. There are only some pieces, and this is one of them. So I thought it was important to share this piece of music today.
It certainly is. Some people think that opera started like one day, one maestro said, I'm writing an opera, and everything went on and on and on, like for these days. But the first compositions that we now call opera were more of an experiment. It was sort of a new language in the sense that for the first time there is arias, there are spoken parts, there are duets, sometimes there are choirs, and there is the accompaniment by the orchestra, not in the way that we know the orchestra now. Some instruments were different to what we know now. So they were like, like they went to travel to discover new lands, and that's pretty much what you hear when you go and check out Monteverdi's creations, as the example that you provided. The early Handel could be another interesting example of that, because people think that opera started when Rossini started, and that is not the case.
No, at all. There are very old operas that are not they're not known as Carmen or La Traviata, but they deserve our attention completely. They can be probably difficult to understand if we think, like you said, about opera as Rossini, Verdi, Puccini, Mozart, and but we need to give the chance to this kind of music, to these early operas, because they also have interesting issues and interesting themes. They are based in mythology in most of cases, so it is pretty funny and interesting. We have to give a chance to this.
Yeah, and think also something that you mentioned earlier, the singing technique was different. Not only there, just imagine the castrati were at the top, tenors would hardly ever pay attention to them, and the sopranos, nobody, they weren't
No,
what
they
they are
didn't.
now. So even the ranges of the voices and the technique, the plain singing with no vibrato, we're speaking of a very different world.
Yeah, it's totally a new universe if you haven't heard this kind of music, but I think that it's worth it.
It certainly does. Agree.
Okay, so this will be your last song, isn't it?
It is the third one. And as in previous
Okay.
example, in the previous ones, I'm not saying anything about the composer name or gender, but you will discover that it is a very funny, lovely, interesting song.
Okay.
Desde que vino la moda, que sí, que no que hay de los pañuelitos blancos, me parecen los mocitos, que sí, que no que hay palomitas en el campo. Molinero, molinero, a la hora de maquilar, ten cuidado que la rueda no se te vaya a escapar, no se te vaya a escapar y te vaya a ti coger. Molinero, molinero al moler, molondrón, molondrón, molandrero, molondrón, molondrón, molandrero. Fui a pedir las marzas en el molinero y perdí las sayas y perdí el pañuelo. Y perdí las sayas y perdí el pañuelo y perdí otra cosa que ahora no recuerdo. Molondrón, molondrón, molondrero, molondrón, molondrón, molondrero. Desde que vino la moda, que sí, que no que hay de los pañuelitos blancos, me parecen los mocitos, que sí, que no que hay palomitas en el campo. Molinero, molinero, a la hora de maquilar, ten cuidado que la rueda no se te vaya a escapar, no se te vaya a escapar y te vaya a ti coger. Molinero, molinero al moler, molondrón, molondrón, molandrero, molondrón, molondrón, molandrero. Fui a pedir las marzas en el molinero y perdí las sayas y perdí el pañuelo. y perdí las hazañas, y perdí el pañuelo, y perdí otra cosa que ahora no recuerdo. Molondrero, drero, drero. Lovely song, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Okay, I do know this song, but I would like you to share with all of our listeners name, what is it about, and why did you choose it?
The name of the song is Molondron, which of which I don't have a translation, so don't ask me about that. I
Mm.
really don't know how to translate a molondron. And I chose it because it is in the same mood as in the others. It does not have any virtuosity or technical challenge, but I think the challenge is in the interpretation because it has to be like funny without going to exaggeration. It is not like ridiculous, even though the story is funny, because it tells this, from my perspective, the story of a lady who is in love with the molinero, the molondron, because when he tells the story that she goes for the sayas, y perdí las zarzas, y perdí el pañuelo, y perdí otra cosa que ahora no me acuerdo. It's like a funny way of saying, you
It's
know,
spicy.
yeah, like spicy. So I think that there is always this beauty in the music that makes you feel, as we have been saying, like feeling fresh. Like, don't worry if there is a high note. Don't worry about, or there is a trill, or there is a pianissimo that is sostenuto. Don't worry about anything like that. Just worry about, or just not worry, but just try to tell this funny story of y perdí el pañuelo y perdí otra cosa que ahora no me acuerdo. You know, just care about that nice message, and that's pretty much why I chose it.
Okay, don't you feel that you are fighting against your text? Don't you think that there are many words in very little time?
Mm,
Because there's a part that I heard that it's like and that might be complicated to keep a line, to keep a good and homogenic color when you are saying so many words. It's one of the challenges that we have mentioned about Zarzuela.
And I think that it has to do with the style of the composer because it really comes to, the message that is conveyed in that part, it really doesn't have an explanation in the text itself, but it has to do with the mood of the song. Because if we go back to it, just let me find it. uh, it starts like slow, like molinero, molinero, a la hora de maquilar, ten cuidado que la rueda no se te vaya a escapar, no se te vaya a escapar. That part, that's the one that you say,
That part.
no se te vaya a escapar y te vaya a ti coger. If you notice, it goes like prestissimo, but there is no change in the score. It is only the notes that he wrote too many notes, too many fourths and eighths there in order to speed it up. But he's not changing
Yeah.
really the music. And then it goes to the opposite. It goes to slowing it down. It starts like, molinero, molinero, a la hora de maquilar, ten cuidado que la rueda no se te vaya a escapar, no se te vaya a escapar y te vaya a ti coger. Molinero, molinero al moler. You see, it goes this, prestissimo, slowing, and it starts
It's like
this
being
melody.
running and suddenly you have to stop.
And because I think that the author wanted to pay you to pay attention to this part of the song, because exactly what she tells us is that she's worried that the own meal catches him up and he suffers an accident.
Yeah, sure. You could lose your hand.
And if you notice, even in the tone of the music, it sounds like worried but not extreme drama. It is not Macbeth washing her hands in blood and all
No,
those
no, no,
horrible
no.
things. It's just, no te vaya a ti coger molinero, molinero al moler. No, I think it's nice, easy, and effective. At least from my perspective.
It works for
It
all of
works.
us.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing this lovely song.
It certainly is. I really love it.
Okay, so we are getting to the very end of our today's program, and I will sing with this lovely song. I'm sure you know this one. I think that is like exotic. It reminds me to Lacme. Uh, Not in the style, not in the virtuosity, not in the fireworks, not in the high notes, but I think that you will think of Lacme too.
Maybe, yeah.
Già il sole già il sole d'algante, più chiaro sfavilla, più chiaro sfavilla. E terge ogni stilla dell'alba che piange, dell'alba che piange, dell'alba che piange, dell'alba che piange. Già il sole dal Gange, già il sole dal Gange, più chiaro sfavilla, più chiaro sfavilla. Col raggio